been a good long while since we've had any announcements on EVE Echoes. I sought to rectify that by giving CCP a shout and see if I can rustle up some answers from them, and Rax did not disappoint. They went into some real depth on their idea of monetization for Echoes, how the closing of the beta affected EVE Online numbers, and the main reason the beta was closed down for such a long time. For all your EVE Echoes news and announcements, hit that like, hit that sub, and don't forget to ding that bell. Let me know in the comments what your favourite answer is. And if you have any questions for the future, please let me know. I put it to my community in a Discord, link in the description, to come up with any questions they would like to ask CCP, and they did not let me down. Some real good ones here. So without any further ado, let's get into the Q&A. Question 1. How are you liking the progress of Echoes so far? It has been very satisfying working with NetEase on developing EVE Echoes. We are very impressed with NetEase's development team, their speed of execution, frequent releases, and incorporation of player feedback during beta testing. We look forward to adding additional features to the game, and we can't wait to get the full version into the hands of our players. I couldn't agree more with this one, contrary to certain individuals' opinions. Savage. Sorry about that. Question 2. Is there anything you'd like to see in Echoes or change from the current plan? We are happy with the current roadmap. We believe we are working on fundamental features that will improve the overall gameplay, and player feedback has played a significant role in shaping this roadmap. We continue to listen to players' feedback, and if necessary, we will adjust the roadmap further if we believe it will lead to improvements. The devs did listen a lot to us during the beta, the addition of more fitting slots being one major part of them listening to the player base. Question 3. Have you seen an increase in the player base since the beta of Echoes has ended? If you are referring to EVE Online's player base, we are seeing frequent indications that players from EVE Echoes are giving EVE Online a try. As for EVE Echoes, there are a lot of latecomers who wanted to try the game, and we continue to see a lot of interest through pre-registrations. This is also evident from a media standpoint, e.g. EVE Echoes being picked as one of the top 10 most anticipated mobile games in 2020. If you'd like to see that top 10 list, link will be in the description. I'm really not surprised they saw an increase. Many people were talking about it in Discord in the early days. I actually wonder how many people stuck with it though. Again, I'm not surprised that Echoes is on a top 10 list. They have done a truly amazing job on the game so far, and I only have more to add. Question 4. I'm curious to see how much input CCP has on the overall game, or if their role on the Echoes project is just more of a subtle input, testing, brainstorming. Can you go into more detail about this? We are in constant communication with NetEase and host frequent meetings on both development and publishing to help ensure players are given an authentic EVE experience. CCP has participated in playtests from the start and provides ongoing feedback. We share knowledge openly between the two companies and work together on interacting with our community, PR and marketing, as well as other topics. This question was heavy on my mind. I had heard different things from different people, but what most of us thought was correct. They do have a lot of input in the development of Echoes, and I'm really happy that both companies have a good working relationship. Question 5. What is your opinion on a no PvP high sec? Very normal for a mobile game, and given the current mechanics, it would be hard for players to gank in high sec even if this wasn't the case. Best it remains that way. I've been telling everyone this for a long time. While we might not agree with it, we need to progress with the times. I'm sure they will find a way to quash our worries on it. We'll have to wait and see. Question 6. If given the chance to remake EVE from scratch, what would you do differently? What would you implement differently? Are there any genies that you wish you'd never let out of the bottle? In hindsight, it's often easy to point towards certain things that could have been done differently. Some are simple to spot, like certain UI changes, while others are difficult to identify, and might, for example, derive from legacy code. Some players have debated that EVE is too hard to get into, while others love it for that specific reason. This is what has helped shape EVE Online into a unique MMO, and gathered an amazing community around it. There are certainly a lot of things we would like to do differently, and we have a grand vision for the future of EVE. We would, however, much rather show it to our players rather than speak to it at this point. While I agree in this day and age, EVE Online is too hard for the casual player to just jump in and play. I have grown up with EVE, and honestly wouldn't change much myself, other than getting rid of caps and station timers, but that's just the wormholer in me. Question 6.2. Has Echoes given CCP any ideas on design or implementation of features in EVE Online? EVE Echoes has and continues to provide CCP with excellent feedback on how we can improve EVE Online. There are, for example, certain aspects of EVE Echoes UI and UX that are very intriguing, and our teams are looking into how they could be implemented. EVE Online has been developed over such a long time that a lot of features and experiences have been added and removed to the game during this period. EVE Echoes have tried to capture the best features while altering others to create a unique experience on mobile. I know a lot of your older EVE players and Savage did not like a lot of the changes that NetEase have implemented, but so far I really have nothing to complain about. There's a few things I've thought, what? But they all grow on me, and so far I'm content. Question 7. With the popularity of Echoes, showing 400k account signups just for the beta, could this be used as a test for having a new EVE on PC, or at least a wiped universe? This is a topic that surfaces every now and again, and is in many ways a discussion on competitive advantage. New players feel like veteran players have an edge on them. This should of course hold true to some degree, but preferably not to a point where it discourages new players from entering the game. We are constantly looking into options of improving our new player experience, while satisfying our veteran players and everyone in between. One thing to also keep in mind is that for some players the idea of a fresh start is very intriguing. But we are not only capturing old EVE Online players that want a fresh start, we are also reaching out to a new audience on mobile that has never played EVE Online, and is equally excited about the universe as our veteran players. That is very motivating for both CCP and NetEase. I really wanted to ask this question for many reasons. I would love a fresh start server on EVE Online, and the fact that CCP recognises this could be a good sign for the future. But as of right now, I need them all to get Echoes done. Question 8. NetEase have expressed that they wish to adhere to the monetization of EVE. With EVE Online getting closer and closer to the loot box monetization, do you believe Echoes players will have to worry about the sale of SP not generated by the player? The fundamental reason for skill points being sold, as a part of value-added packs in EVE Online, serve the same purpose as the login bonus skill points in EVE Echoes. It helps new players play with their friends faster. The exact execution of monetization for EVE Echoes has not been determined, but we are looking to EVE Online for inspiration. I thought I'd throw this curveball in there to see if we could glean anything from it. I agree that there needs to be a catch-up mechanic, but not at the beginning. That's not a catch-up mechanic. That's a get-ahead quick mechanic, which I do not like. Let's hope they don't go that route. Unfortunately for question 9, I won't be able to reveal until a later date. Keep an eye out on the channel for this important announcement. Question 10. Are CCP and NetEase watching Second Galaxy closely, and how player response has been towards it, with the microtransaction backlash as well as the artificially injected paywalls placed within the game to squeeze more money out of the players, such as boosting higher tiered ships to ridiculous strengths that places unfair advantages between serious paying players versus lower spending players and free-to-play players? We have done market research on many mobile games in the MMO category, and are monitoring the numbers available to us to make educated decisions. We have a long-term vision for EVE Echoes, and giving players a fair playing ground is of importance to us. This question came from one of the community, and I'm sure it hits home for a lot of people who are worried about the monetization of Echoes. What's really important here is this: giving players a fair playing ground is of importance to us. This kind of gives me hope, and I know I shouldn't hope, but it has. Question 10.2. Can you give us any good news to contrast this with how EVE Echoes will handle this as well as those that have unlimited funds to throw at a game? It's important to have a fair sandbox MMORPG, be it on PC or mobile platform. We think EVE Echoes should adhere to the fairness in EVE Online. Again, this answer further strengthens my hope for a deviation in the current monetization meta. I hope they realise how well this game will do without a forceful monetization option. Question 11. What are your feelings on the chat censorship? Is this something CCP will talk to NetEase about? We want our players to be able to immerse themselves within the EVE universe. New Eden has enough politics of its own without needing to bring real world politics into play. All we ask of our players is that they are respectful towards other players' opinions. If they want to discuss real life politics, there are plenty of platforms designed for this sort of thing. And I completely agree with this, and I have from the beginning. If you want to shout stupid shit about beloved children's TV icons, or any other political based bullshit, keep it to other platforms. I play games to get away from that crap, not be bombarded with it daily. It ruins it for everyone, and this next one's a big one. Question 12. The decision to close down the open beta up until soft launch has been considered to be a bad idea by a lot of the player base, and you can see that the hype train has indeed reached the station. Discord is dead, views on videos have dropped, I don't hear as much excitement anymore. Can you go into details on why this happened? We can understand that many players were hoping to play the game from open beta until launch. The original plan assumed that there would be about 50,000 players accessing the open beta, while the reality was closer to 10 times that. Consequently, the game almost felt as if it was live already. Maintaining a live game takes a lot of time and focus from the core development team, so giving them this period to focus exclusively on game development will improve the overall experience significantly. In addition, views and discussions might have slowed down, but the excitement is still there. Pre-registrations continue to pour in, and we are certain that once we can share more news, people's focus will be turned towards Echoes again. Boy was they wrong about the 50k players, and 10 times the amount is insane. Shows how much interest and how many eyes are on this game. We could really see them make strong waves in the gaming community if done right. To see that we were taking up so much of the devs' time, I'm glad they took the game down. Kinda. I wish it was still up, but now I understand the full scope of what was happening. I can truly sit here and see that it is for the best. I am also so happy to hear that the pre-registrations are still rolling in. It did feel like to me like it was quieting down, and I'm very thankful to Rax for giving us this much detail on the answer. Question 13. If you had the choice in Echoes to make 2 servers, one for the East and one for the West, would you do it, just like Serenity? Personally, I think we would benefit from having one server. More players would mean more content for everyone. Other problems like language barriers will eventually be solved through technology. However, due to real world conditions outside of our control, this isn't always possible. I'm on the side of having one server, if a serious translation system is implemented. If not, I would prefer 2 servers. Diplomacy etc. will fly straight out the window, but it would give translators a chance to shine in corps. So I guess that's a positive. And then we save the best till last. Ending with question 14. If EVE Echoes does become a microtransaction disaster, will this not affect CCP's image negatively? The performance of EVE Echoes will of course have an impact on CCP's image. Personally, I don't think microtransactions are the problem per se, but rather when content is sold for real money that give players an unfair advantage. Seeing the passion NetEase has for the game, and how hard the development team is working towards creating a fair playing ground, for EVE Echoes we are not concerned. The biggest point to this answer and my largest chance for actual hope comes in this answer. I don't think microtransactions are the problem per se, which they're not, but rather when content is sold for real money that gives players an unfair advantage. What a thing to say, and I really hope this gets you all excited as it does me. There is hope that this won't become another SG or Nova. Hope is all I need to carry on. And that's all we have for today. I hope this knocks some questions out of your mind and gives you a new perspective from CCP side. What was your favourite answer? Do you have any questions for the future? Let me know in the comments. Remember to like and sub if you found this helpful, and to also get announcements and news on EVE Echoes here first. Thanks for watching. Fly safe.